Hey, welcome to the TV channel. Today we have another tournament game and you'll be featuring the best deck in format. Yes, the Mother D Reaper. I'm kidding. It's of course the Blue Hybrid Susanoomon. However, am I really kidding though? Blue Hybrid Susanoomon has a notorious freeze effect alongside a Mega Digimon Fusion discounted Susanoomon, so it should be quick enough to take down the Mother D Reaper, in theory at least. Without further ado, let's dive right into the game itself to explore how the games went down these two oppressive decks. Now I'd like to point out one more thing as well. For the Mother D Reaper is actually playing the Black Tamers as well as the Black Subakon Punch, making or rather allowing the Mother to be a blocker. So that's actually quite an insane combo or strategy that no one actually really uses, because Mother D Reaper is actually commonly seen using yellow stuff. But this time this guy is using black stuff, the true chat I would say. Now we do see the Dual Tamer as well as the Analog Boy being set up for the Blue Hybrid player. He's definitely playing towards the Susanoomon as he does arrange the Hybrid and the Tamers separately from the other drop zones. He's going to go for the Tommy and of course evolving to the Korikakumon to actually freeze the Bubble Head. Because if you do freeze the Jury, it doesn't actually stop her from actually activating her main phase effect, which is to tap and look for more surges, which he will do so here looking at top 5. And we do actually see that his Mother doesn't have any other searches underneath, so which is very unfortunate because he's truly bricking in this game. However, he does finally have one in his hand, which will just call down for 1 cost to draw 1. If you guys haven't noticed also, the Mother D Reaper decks do lack a lot of cycling, because their only cycle is actually the Searcher itself. Now we do see the final Zubagon Punch being placed on the Mother, and the Mother does have 18k DP and a blocker effect. So that's actually pretty scary if you ask me, because he basically stops the opponent from swinging. Although it's just one swing, it does actually still deter opponent from actually progressing a damage. He's gonna go for the BO3 here, evolving on top of the Hybrid Digimon. Actually gonna go for the swing, even though I said that it's gonna deter him from swinging, but it's gonna use a Tommy effect to actually freeze the Bubble Head and mainly to bounce the level 4 back to hand. So it does freezes the Bubble Head, but of course the Mother will of course block the attack, making the BO3 die and go into the drop zone. But isn't all too bad, because when you do go to the drop zone, you're feeling the count of the Susanoomon in the future turn. So I would say that's a very heads up play, although questionable to an extent, because the Mother D Reaper did not expect the swing to happen, given that he can just block it away. Now use the Jerry effect to look at top 5 for more searches. We do want to hit the 7 count as soon as possible to allow the Big Daddy Reaper to come down to actually eat all the security, of course. And you do know that Daddy Reaper with the Zubagon Punch can actually pack a punch, no pun intended. We do see the final Zubagon Punch being placed on the Mother once again, and he's going to pass the turn straight away. And we do have the dual Blue Tamer to actually gain 2 memory for the Blue Hybrid player, which is always guaranteed to gain 2 memory against the Mother D Reaper matchup. Now he does play a Tommy, setting up for future turns, and it's going to evolve to the Kumamon. And he can't swing because of the Mother D Reaper being a blocker, so he's going to freeze on the Bubble Heads, which is a very wise move, because despite not reaching a 7 count of the searchers under the Mother, they still can swing their bodies on top of your security. And after a while, it can get quite overwhelming. He does have the Searcher finally in his hand. He's going to slot it in under the Mother D Reaper and does have 4. And he's going to use the Jerry effect once again, looking at top 5, making the total count to 5, which is 1 step closer to the Gatekeepers as well as the Daddy Reaper. It's going to swing with one of the bubbles that's not frozen, and it's going to hit to a Mega Digimon Fusion, which is what the Susanoomon player needs. And it's going to hardcore the Sean Striker, which is a total of just 2 costs, but he does have the Davis and the Dual Tamer to ensure he does start the turn with 5 memory. It's going to hatch to the Upamon, and not evolving yet, it's going to swing the Korikakumon to draw 1 thanks to the Upamon inherit, hitting to a Pilates head, so it does survive. It's going to hardcore the Bokomon, which will definitely help him to search more pieces that he needs. And we do see a Tamer as well as a Hybrid Digimon, which is going to add both to hand, and the rest will go to the bottom of the deck. It's going to go for the double Mega Digimon Fusion, so if you guys haven't already know, you can actually stack both of them up, so you'll reduce the cost of the next evolution by 12, although it won't refund you the memory, but for Susanoomon case, instead of 1 cost, it will be 0 cost, which can be quite a lot given that you do have Pokemon to refund the 2 memory, which can follow up with more plays. So Susanoomon here will be free. It does gain 2 memory thanks to the Pokemon, and it's going to destroy 1 Digimon in the form of Jerry, and it's going to start swinging 3 security, and this could be game already if he doesn't have anything in the security. So swinging 3 security, hitting to first one nothing, second one to the Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper will allow him to Q1, so he's going to hit for 1 more security, and of course will hit into the Iron Fister Onslaught, which will kill the Susanoomon. However, the Susanoomon has already achieved his 3 security attack, so it does achieve his job, and the Analog Boy isn't activated here until the later in the turn, as the opponent does remember finally, and does hit into another Iron Fister Onslaught, which will kill off both Korikakumon, which is very unfortunate. But unfortunately, he doesn't have the level 4 Hybrid in hand, which will actually end the game here. but because he has to pay for the 10 hybrid and tamers cost for the Susanoomon earlier, he doesn't actually have it. He's gonna hardcore the blue hybrid, and we do see it finally at the top of the deck, so which is very close to winning this game. But I would say the Gatekeeper from the security really helped him out there because of that one heal. The Susanoomon is only able to do 3 security attack instead of 4. Now we do see the Searcher coming down for just 1 cost and using the Mana Reaper effect, of course, to slot the Searcher in. And he's going to follow up with further moves here. He's going to move the Horn Striker into frame as well as the Gatekeeper. And he's going to hardcore another Gatekeeper, of course, given that now he has 6 Searchers already. He's going to reduce the cost by 6. And of course, with Gatekeeper online, and actually if 2 Gatekeepers online, all the opponent Digimons will minus security attack, -2. So basically, he can't win the game except the form of Susanoomon, which will only be doing 1 damage here. But however, he does have the Susanoomon in hand. He's gonna put a total of 10 hybrid and tamers under the bottom deck and evolve on top of the Analog Boy, actually killing off one of the Gatekeepers. But it's still security attack -1, which is more than enough to prevent these rookies from swinging for game. But of course, Susanoomon can swing another security, but he doesn't have a follow-up to actually answer the last Gatekeeper. And this will actually be a torture because you are so close to winning, but yet again, you are not close at all. So the turn will start off with 3 memory for the Mana Reaper, or actually 5 thanks to the Door Tamer. And in this turn, he's going to hit the 7 searchers under the Mana Reaper and really know who's coming down when 7 hits the clock. And of course, the Daddy Reaper will be coming down, but of course, he's going to swing the Bubble Head first and hope to see no Ice Sword or the Heaven Spark in the security. Doesn't hit to anything. The Gatekeeper will swing for the last security, making it down to 1. He's going to hardcore the Reaper for 0 cost, and he's going to swing for the last 2 attack and go for a game here. The Ice War is at the last one, but it's too late, and he wraps up game 1 for here. So it's extremely close for the blue hybrid player to actually finish off the game, but the Gatekeeper in the security has been very strong. Now we do see a Strawberrymon hardcore here, picking up the pace, I would say, given that he has 2 Digimons out on the field already, and I'm certain he's going to throw these 2 Strawberrymons in the security without any hesitation. And we actually see the Easy Izumi being caught down here instead of actually a Searcher, so definitely he doesn't have it in hand, which is unfortunate. It's going to rearrange the top 3 and not gaining any 1 memory because the top 3 aren't all black. Strawberrymon will be throwing himself at the security, hitting to the bubbles, which does have a security effect to allow him to actually play a Searcher from hand into the Mana Reaper, but the Mana Reaper is still stuck in the nursery zone, so definitely these 2 bubbles head which is popped out in the security doesn't have any effect, so that's unfortunate for him. And we do see a Davis coming down, setting up for future turns given that he won't be memory choked. And that's a wise move, I would say, because against Mana Reaper, they do have a high potential to actually memory choke you thanks to those searches, given they're just 1 cost. He does hardcore the ADR03 and does pick up a Reaper and a Searcher there, so he's going to hardcore the Searcher for just 1 cost, but thanks to the Davies there, he does guarantee 3 memory, so that's why I've been saying the memory choke is real with the Mana Reapers. He does head into Upamon, and of course he's going to have Strawberrymons ready to throw at the security once again. G going to go for the Strawberrymon once again, looking at top 4, does pick up a hybrid, I would say, given that he does need more Digimons to throw at the opponent, because you do really want to end the game before the Gatekeeper comes down, which is the 6 count. He's going to hardcore the Pokemon to ensure that he does have a free evolution cost in the future turns, does pick up the Door Tamer, which is the best card against Mana Reaper because they have no way against it. And we're going to start the turn with 3 memory thanks to the Easy Izumi on the side of the field. For the Mana Reaper, it's going to slot in one of the searchers. It's going to swing at the security already, hitting to a Pokemon, and it doesn't die because it does have 3 KDP anyway. It's going to go for the Iron Fisted Onslaught to kill off these 2 rookies, which both have the same core cost of 3. So that's a very nice clear field, I would say, because the idea for the Mana Reaper is always to survive until he does hit into the 6th or 7th count. But the opponent is going to see this sign of weakness as he doesn't have much searches in hand. He's going to swing at security with the Korikakumon and does gain 1 and draw 1, which is very nice. And he's going to go for the Analog Boy, which will set up to Susanoomon, which he does pick up immediately to hand. And he's going to end the turn with a Door Tamer here, which is going to make sure he does start the game or end the turn with 5 memory every turn now. We're going to see a final Super Gon Punch on the Mana Reaper, but he really needs to see the searches as soon as possible to even speed up the game, because even with the final Super Gon Punch, the blue player can simply ignore it for that 1 turn, and he does need to have a follow-up in the next turn. He does hardcore the Pilates head, which will make sure he does start the turn with the 6 memory there, which is quite a lot for the blue hybrid because he can do quite a bit of move, but he's going to spend 4 of them to the Davis looking at top 3. We do see 2 Tamers, and of course the Strawberrymon will be added to hand by default. He's actually going to evolve to the Beowulfmon for 3 costs and just pass the turn to the left player. So as I mentioned just now, he can just simply ignore the final Super Gon Punch attempt It's gonna see the party set swinging at security, hitting to a Korikakumon, and it's gonna die there. So it's unfortunate. It's gonna start swinging everything at the security, which I say is actually a bold move because you can actually hit into more tamers or even an Ice Sword there. You're gonna see a Gatekeeper hardcore to put him to 3 security, but Gatekeeper doesn't have any much effect after that because it doesn't have the 6 searches under the Muddy Reaper. So definitely this is a sign of weakness for the blue hybrid player to see, or to rather to abuse. Given that he now has 10 memory to work with this turn, it's going to swing the Sharpimon, pushing down to 1 security, and this game is almost close to over. It's going to evolve to the Kumamon with plenty of memory to work with, and going to swing the last security, of course, pushing down to 0, and of course he does have the hybrid this time round to end the game. So we're moving on to game 3, of course, with the Melody Reaper hopefully not breaking this time. It's going to head to the Melody Reaper, and you're going to see a Searcher turn 1 this time. And especially when the Melody Reaper do go first, he can memory choke so effectively, and that's a nice sight to see for the Melody Reaper players. And we of course see the Strawbymon hardcore once again looking at top 4, and he does actually pick up the Strawbymon, so he does really want to make sure that he does have rookies always to actually evolve and swing at the opponent's Melody Reaper security. We do see the hardcore of the Pendulum feat reduced by 1 cost thanks to the Melody Reaper. He's going to look at top 3, do pick up the Reaper to hand, so that's definitely a win condition already in hand, shown to the opponent, and we're going to see a Searcher hardcore to memory choke the opponent once again. I would say for the blue hybrid player, he definitely needs to set out a tamer as soon as possible because the memory choke from the opponent will be devastating down the road. You see the Strawbymon dying to the searchers in a security check. The Strawbymon will swing once again and thus hit into the Jerry, which of course will kill it off. And it's actually going to go to an Analog Boy here, which doesn't really make sure you do gain any memory, but it does set up the Susanoomon in the future turns, which is actually pretty scary if you ask me, because Susanoomon is after a 3 security swing, and the Melody Reaper can always be at lethal zone in front of the blue hybrid player. But this is a scary play by the Melody Reaper to actually swing at the security, because if you hit to a potential tamer, you're actually speeding up the process for the blue hybrid player, and he does actually hit the 2 searches on top of the deck. He's gonna hardcore one of them to further choke the opponent. So I would say he's pretty lucky to not hit into a tamer in the security of the blue hybrid player. So definitely it's very unfortunate for the blue hybrid player to not abuse the fact that he's being hit on the security. As you guys know, when you hit blue in the security, you do actually expect to see a bunch of nonsense, I would say. And we do see the Strawbymon hardcore and actually picking up the Korikakumon to hand. So I'm quite surprised he didn't pick up the blue tamer, but the guy must have a plan in mind which he couldn't see yet. You're gonna see the mother absorbing on the searches, and the Pendulum feat will actually swing at security, hitting to the ISO, which is one of the nonsense that I mentioned just now. Using Melody Reaper effect, he's going to reduce the play cost of the next card, which is the ADR03, and he just picked up the Jerry as well as Searcher to hand. So these 2 cards will definitely speed up the process to actually help him reach the 6 and 7 counts of the Melody Reaper. Now he's going to swing the Strawbymon once again, hitting to 2 security now, so he's definitely very close to dying. So this guy definitely is very confident. He's going to evolve to Korikakumon to actually freeze one of the Pendulum feat, prevent those bodies from being thrown at security. Given that he is now 3 security left, it's going to be quite scary. He's going to pull on the searches under the Melody Reaper again. He's going to hardcore the ADR07 party's head, which is the total of just 2 costs. He's going to tap it and kill off the Korikakumon cleanly. He's going to hardcore the searcher once again to memory choke the opponent. And I want to say I feel bad for the blue hybrid players, but blue hybrid man, they are pests in the meta currently. So I'm glad the Melody Reaper is somewhat punishing them, as we do see the Ice Sword, and of course the second Ice Sword to pass the turn for the Melody Reaper. So definitely the guy has a plan in mind, given that he has only the Analog Boy on his side of the field instead of more blue tamers. We're going to see the ADR02 Searcher once again, drawing 1 for just 1 cost, and going to use the Melody Reaper effect to reduce the play cost of this Jerry. I'm going to use the Jerry effect to look at top 5 to put the number 6 Searcher to the Melody Reaper. So with 6 counts, the Gatekeeper is definitely online, and it's going to be pretty scary. It's going to hardcore the bubbles to actually pass the turn, putting the 7 Searcher under it. So this definitely is the last turn for the blue hybrid player, and looks like he's very confident as he does pick up the trash and count the tamer and the hybrids. And definitely he's going to go for the Mega Digimon Fusion play once again, which is pretty scary because this might be lethal already, as he's going to go for it and of course evolve to the Susanoomon. Actually he's going to go for a double, which is going to make the Susanoomon just 0 cost this time, evolving on top of the Analog Boy for just 0 cost, which is pretty insane. I'm going to swing at security for 3 security attack, hitting to of course the Gatekeeper once again, healing 1, so it's going to just make sure the Susanoomon is only 2 security attack. And I will say this game is, close to being over, because now he does need another Susanoomon to actually even go for the security attack swing. So it's actually pretty sad for the blue hybrid player to actually see the Gatekeeper once again in a security coming out of nowhere, making sure the game doesn't go his way. He's gonna of course evolve to the correct Pokemon to actually freeze one of the Pendulum Freak, but we both know the Reaper is ready to drop down in his hand, and this game is really close to being over. Now he's gonna start a turn off with actually just one memory, but that's all he's gonna need. He's gonna start swinging at the security with the other D-Reaper cards hitting to a Davis, which I must say is a bit late on the Davis part because it's at the third security. And the Mana D-Reaper will of course start throwing more bodies at the security, putting him down to 1 already. The last swing will put him down to 0. And of course, the Daddy Reaper will be coming down to go for a game. What a game, I must say. And this is the Mana D-Reaper decklist if you guys are interested in, which incorporates the black cards. And this on the other hand will be the blue hybrid Susanoomon. Thank you guys for watching till the end, and do consider subscribing, dropping a like and a comment if you guys do enjoy the content.